Welcome to Quiet Minds, the podcast. If this is your first time joining, welcome to the channel. Thank you for stopping in and listening. And if you've been here before, welcome back and thank you for being here again. So, my name is Vanessa, and I'm the host of Quiet Minds. And this channel is all about navigating life as an introvert, life, relationships, career, work. We cover all of that on the show. And again, if you did hear my last podcast, this is a new element that I'm bringing to my community is holding this podcast where I can connect more with you guys on an even deeper level. So, on today's podcast, we're going to talk about exploring life as an introvert in an extroverted world. And I actually get a lot of questions like this, like my partner's extroverted. My friends always want me to go out. Like, how do I deal with that? I always feel bad to say no. So I thought, okay, let me cover that on this show. So we're going to talk about how to navigate living with extroverted family or friends. And again, not necessarily living with extroverted friends, of course, but just living with them in your life. So if you've ever felt overwhelmed by the energy and constant socializing of your extroverted loved ones, this episode is definitely for you. And I'm going to share on tips how to coexist harmoniously with those individuals who are a little more outgoing in your life. So, first, I want to start off by acknowledging that introverts and extroverts have different needs when it comes to social interaction. So, extroverts, they might feel energized by being around others. To be honest, like that's how a lot of extroverts gain their energy. They thrive in social environments, which is super interesting, right? So that fuels them up. But for introverts, we need to recharge our energy by spending time alone, right? Like if we're socializing for a few hours, it can take sometimes for introverts, highly sensitive people, it can take us a few days to gain back the energy that we had to exert during those times, during those social events, right? It's interesting because we're quiet in nature. We can sit in a room with somebody for a couple hours and not say a word. So when we have to do social interacting, we have to muster up all this energy that we don't usually need to, and we have to exert it and kind of put on another side of us when we are socializing. And that's why it takes so much more time to gather that energy back up and replenish itself. It's fascinating to me the differences between different people, but it's just how it is, and that's honoring and recognizing our needs is super important. So, okay, so communication is key. Letting your extroverted family or friends know that you need some alone time to recharge your energy. You don't have to explain it in great detail, even as simple like, I need some quiet time to myself. That's all. And most people will respect and understand your need for personal space. In the past, for me to say no to somebody, I used to have to make up excuses. Oh, I'm busy that night, or I have another obligation. Instead of just saying, no, thank you, like it's not going to work for me. And um, I realized after a while of saying that, it's like, no, how about I just say thank you for the invitation, but it's not going to work for me tonight, or I appreciate you asking me, but I won't be able to make it. Honestly, just literally being clear that we can't do something if we're not able to because we just don't have the energy to, instead of making excuses or feeling bad or feeling guilty, just saying, I appreciate the invitation, but I'm not going to be able to make it. And then that's it. That's all we have to say. So when it comes to our needs, setting boundaries is crucial. So it's important to decide like how much social interaction you can handle and stick with that. So knowing your limits. If you know after like 3 hours like you're done, then you're done. It's okay to like honor that, because a lot of times if we go over our limit because again we feel bad leaving or whatever it is, then we're just kind of suffering after that because we're completely exhausted and it's taking us extra time to replenish ourselves. So it's like, know your limit, stick with it, and that's it. Another thing too that you can also say is like, if you get an invitation that you just can't manage, you don't want to, you can say, I'd love to join you, but I need a quiet evening tonight. That's it. And remember, like setting boundaries isn't about pushing people away. It's about taking care of yourself so you can be fully present when you do engage, right? I find if I'm exhausted and at a social event, but I'm exhausted, I'm not giving anything. And then you get the questions like, are you okay? Is something wrong with you? Is everything, you get all those questions because you're quiet and you're not being able to give that energy that people are expecting from you. I can't be fully present when I'm overwhelmed. I'm distracted in my mind. I'm thinking about laying on my couch. I'm tired. It's funny. There's that quote that says, "You know you're an introvert when you're ready to go home before you even leave the house." I'll be excited to go out for dinner or to see friends for a couple hours, but I'm already looking forward to coming home and being in my comfy clothes. Okay, so another thing you can do, coexisting with your lovely extroverted family or friends, is finding common ground. So look for activities and hobbies that both you and your extroverted family or friends can do together. This could be something like super low key, watching a movie, going for a walk, like cooking a meal together. So finding common ground allows you to spend quality time together, but without feeling overwhelmed and even overstimulated. So find activities that you both can enjoy doing together, and that will work too. Scheduling alone time. So make sure to schedule your regular alone time for you. So this could be a few hours each day or a full day each week if you can, and depending upon your needs. So having this time set aside can help you feel more balanced and better equipped to handle social situations when they do occur. It's hard when it comes to work, especially if you're an introvert. Working in an office environment, I've never worked full time in an office environment. I've always just done my own thing. So I don't really have experience with that. I just guess I kind of knew from a younger age that that wasn't going to be how I can operate. But it is very hard for introverts to work in busy, chaotic environments where everybody's pulling from you they need all these needs that people have from you. It can be very difficult. I'll talk more about that on future episodes, like tips and suggestions as an introvert working in an extroverted world, so to speak. So I'll cover that. But yeah, scheduling your alone time so you can feel balanced when you are out there in the world, and practicing self care. So don't forget to practice regular self care, whether it's reading a book, meditating. My YouTube channel has lots of meditations, enjoying a hobby, a creative activity. Just make sure to take time for activities that help you recharge, like a beautiful walk in a forest, the grounding, healing energy of the forest. That's always helpful. Me, I like to be by the water. I'm an Aries, but sitting by the water or just seeing the water, I find is super healing. So, and just remember, self care isn't a luxury, it's a necessity, especially when you're balancing your introverted needs with the social demands of extroverted loved ones. And be honest about your limits. If you're feeling drained, it's okay to politely excuse yourself from a social situation. You might say, I've had a great time, but I need to head home and recharge. Most people will appreciate your honesty and respect your needs. As you know, introverts can be introverted one week and then suddenly they have more energy. So they're feeling more social and you plan these things. But I used to host women's circles, maybe a couple weeks or a month in advance. And then the day would come and sometimes I didn't feel like socializing, but I've already planned this. Everybody's coming over. But I remember on one occasion, there was probably 30 people at my home. We had a big space there so everybody could fit comfortably there. But I remember going into the washroom and just sitting there on the edge of my tub, this completely feeling overwhelmed. And I could hear everybody talking and the loudness. And I think we had music going, the busyness, everybody moving around. And I just remember just feeling super drained. I'm like, okay, what am I doing? What am I doing? But just meaning why did I put this on if I'm feeling like this? It was fine. I just had that moment where I needed just 5 minutes to sneak away 5 minutes into the washroom, or if I've done it before, into my bedroom, and just 5 minute breather, relax, relax, breathe, and then go back out there. But again, back then, I just thought something was wrong with me. Why am I hiding in the bathroom when I've invited these people over? What is wrong with me? But then I've come to understand myself and know that It was just too much stimulation for me, too much noise, too much busyness. It was enjoyable, but it was still busy for me. So taking a few moments if you need to walk away into another room, and that's okay. Do what you need to do. But yeah, living with extroverted family or friends, it doesn't have to be a source of stress. And by like communicating your needs, setting your boundaries, finding common ground, scheduling your alone time, and practicing your self care and being like super honest about your limits, you can create a harmonious environment where both extroverts and introverts can thrive. So just honor yourself and your needs, and then that's it. Speak clearly, say what your needs are, and then that's all you need to do. So, I'm so excited to like share more episodes with you guys, and I have a very special guest I'll be bringing on. My husband, so he's an introvert as well. So we're going to talk about. I love being in a relationship with him because we can honor each other's need for space and alone time, so it works really well. So we will talk about that. But a lot of people also message me because they're in relationships with extroverts and it's not as harmonious because of the different expectations. So we are going to talk about that as well, like how to handle being an introvert with living with an extroverted partner. So I'll cover that. And yeah, so that will be another upcoming episode for us. So that's all for today's episode. I hope that you found these tips helpful. And if you have any questions, guys, on any topics that you'd like me to cover, please like leave a comment below in the comment section and let me know what you want me to talk about. I'd love for you to do that, and I'd love to dive more into more topics that you guys want to hear about. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining. Thank you for listening, and stay true to who you are in your beautiful heart of hearts.